When your gut feels off, your whole day can feel off. Activia probiotic yogurts and dailies are a quick, easy, and tasty way to up your gut health game every day. They're deliciously smooth and creamy and packed with billions of live and active probiotics. Your gut is where it all begins, so start with Activia. Enjoying Activia twice a day for 2 weeks as part of a balanced diet and healthy lifestyle can help reduce the frequency of minor digestive discomfort.
At Sierra, discover joyous deals on great gifts for everyone on your list. Like cozy slippers, ski gear, fishing poles, bikes, large kayaks, even larger canoes. Whew, which might lead to another discovery. Wrapping gifts is the only sport you need to stay fit this season. 'Tis the season to discover great gifts at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/awesome-A and get on your way to being your best self. Join us on a journey, you glorious human, to see yourself clearly and feel a little more awesome than you did before. It's Awesome with Alison. Pop and circumstance, this felt like the only appropriate way to introduce episode 200. We are so very grateful. I'll stop. Listen, this is episode 200. It's Alison. You're here. You're listening to the podcast. Holy crap. This is a good idea for you. This is a good idea because we have an episode worthy of the big 200, and that is with none other than the cancer dancer herself, Miss Tia Bee Stokes. Now listen, I love to be a braggadocious and tell you how I know everybody, but listen, I really know Tia. And I joke with Tia, we're going to get right into the interview, but one of the... Eric just had the biggest sneeze of his life. Are you dying, sir? Here, hey.
Hey, I'm doing fine, thanks. Excited to be here.
Hey, guess what? Eric, tell everybody a little bit about this documentary. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay.
And also tell them about your other, you have another job. This is a whole job you're doing.
Okay, I'm creative director for Trademark Films. It's an independent film company. We do documentaries. And I was hired to make content and stuff that would be compelling and rich.
Ooh.
And so Alison had the brilliant idea of hitting up...
Thank you, because if people don't bring up it's my idea, I get really offended. I don't want compensation. I just want credit.
So I reached out to Tia Stokes, and Tia was so trusting and awesome and trusted our little studio to tell her story. So we went down. She lives in St. George. We followed her around and got her whole story. And it's incredible. It's her. She's a mom of 5, and she had been a professional dancer doing incredible stuff. And then she had a feeling to stay in Utah, and then she eventually got cancer, and she overcame that, and she's super inspiring. And so that's what the doc is about, and that's
What's it called?
It's called Born for This, the Tia Bee Stokes story. Comes out actually tonight at midnight, Friday, December 6th. So it's here, and you can get it at trademarkfilms.com. And a portion of the proceeds are going to one of her causes. Brielle has cancer, and it's not looking great, but Tia's donating so much to help, and she's just an amazing person. So
your whole family, this is the perfect time of year for this documentary. It's what, $6? 10. It's $10. It's worth 1,000. Okay. It's worth 1,000 for $10. Get your whole family, get a few neighbors over, watch Born for This. You will laugh. You will cry. You will be inspired. It's 45 minutes long, which is the perfect amount of time. We loved watching it with our kids. I'm not overselling. It's really just phenomenal. I'm so proud of Eric. I'm so proud to be married to him. It's a beautiful documentary. It's so uplifting. And I'm so honored that I know Tia. I'm so excited to have you guys listen to this interview. She shares in such a beautiful way. And make sure you're following her on the socials. We'll link to that in the show notes. And let's get into it, because there's just nothing better than getting some love and pump up from Tia Bee Stokes. So happy to have you. This is Tia. And her documentary, Born for This, your documentary, Tia.
Yes!
You have a documentary. It releases
December 6th. I know.
And listen, this documentary is going to inspire, heal,
Oh,
connect,
oh my gosh.
bring so many people together. It's honestly, the word is inspire, because when I watch it, I get
Yeah.
ideas for ways that I want to give back, that I want to help,
Aw.
that I want to contribute. And I know that everybody watching it is going to see it and get ideas for how they can show up
Yes.
more like Tia in their own lives.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm so excited for that. I ask one thing.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to know it was my idea.
I need everybody to know that this was my idea.
Eric
Of course it was. Of course it was your idea.
But Eric was like, hey, we need the perfect person to kind of be the model for what it is we want to do. And I was like, there's only one person. There's literally only one person, and it's Tia.
Aww.
And the reason why is because, girl, your priorities and your values, in my opinion, are right where I would want mine to be. And what I think it's so easy in our world, and you probably see this a lot, to put people on a pedestal who have large numbers and large following. But a large following does not necessarily mean everybody should be interviewing that person.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And so I'm just so glad that the world is going to get to see this. Okay. So I'm going to ask Tia.
Thank you, Alison. And I know that. I know Eric had told me that it was like you were the one that was like, hey, it's Tia.
It's
you
Tia.
Do Tia. And I just am grateful for you for seeing that in me and for giving me that opportunity. And yeah, I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited for the world to see it. So.
And I thank you. I joke, but I don't. Like, I obviously am kidding. I'm not when I'm like, I'm like, I don't need money. I just need the Alison thought of this. That's it. That's all
Alison thought of this first, okay? As you should.
I'm sure lots of other people. So I want to ask you just some fill in the blank questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
And what I want from you, because I know you can do this, is just gut. Like, just gut. And then we can come back and revisit a few things. But life is about what?
Life is about helping others.
Okay, I love that. Life is not about
you.
Ooh. Okay. It would surprise most people.
Wait, say that again?
It would surprise most people
that I don't like chocolate. I don't know. It was the first thing that came in my head.
I like it. Yeah. Wait, do you not like in any form, like a chocolate chip cookie? No chocolate.
No, I do dark chocolate sometimes, but no, I'm not a big chocolate girl. Yeah, I'm a gummy girl. I like gummy candy, gummy stuff.
I'm learning
Which
so
is worse,
much about you. No, I love it all. I love candy. Okay.
Yeah.
Something that you don't brag about, but you should.
Okay. Something that I don't brag about, but I should, is that I'm actually really good at business. Like, I'm good at like creating businesses and having a creative mindset. Like, I don't talk about business a whole lot, but I'm pretty business savvy. Like, I'm good at that kind of stuff. So
I'm so glad I honestly had no idea what you would say. But last night, Eric showed me the new screener for last night. And I literally made him pause it to be like, it was Tia's idea for her to wear a different color shirt than everyone, huh?
Yeah.
In those shots when you're dancing.
Yeah.
And he's, oh yeah, that was all Tia. I'm like, and that's why I was like, oh no, with Tia, you're not just getting someone to interview, you're getting a visionary, you're getting an art director. And I told him, watching you promote and market and how you share about this documentary is a masterclass to anyone paying attention in how you share and promote something you truly care about.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I just want people to understand that, girl, you showed up for years in this gross Utah County random blogging Instagram, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
you were showing up sincere, never got the sense from you that you wanted to be my friend because you wanted something.
Yeah. No.
You just you're just excited to be there. Like you're just happy to be here. Like,
I just believe that consistency sells, and I'm a true believer in that. And I'm a true believer in obviously in the documentary, like being you, like being yourself. And the more you're consistent in who you are, that's what people buy it. They're like, oh my gosh, dang, she was showing up. I mean, I had a really close friend of mine before, who is also in the social media world. And when I got cancer and everything was going, things were going crazy, she just told me, she's like, Tia, that's who you were before. Like you're doing everything you were before, but you're just now the whole world's watching you do it. Like she's all you, and she was telling other people this, like, you've just always, that's just who you've been. And I just truly believe when it comes to business, that's like one, I just feel like consistency, it helps a lot. Like people buy into consistency and who you are as a person and your character. It just shows a lot about somebody when you see them showing up day after day and doing those things and believing in it and having a passion for it. So I don't know. I love it, but people don't know that about me. Obviously, I have a lot of business. I do things, but I don't talk about business a lot. I don't promote that because honestly, one of the biggest things too, I think I've even shared it in some of my interviews, is that I'm actually a horrible business person because I give everything away for free, which
you and I, the way that you do, but Eric's like, it's like working with you. Like she's just handing things out. And I'm like,
I am, because I'm like, life is just so much better when everybody can enjoy it. And honestly, my business model has always been like, the Lord will take care of me. And that's how I feel. Like people are asking me like, oh, you're giving your portions away to, your cause. And I said, yeah, they're like, you don't have to do that. This isn't part of your dance for a cause. I said, actually, it kind of is, because it's my calamity story. It's my dance for a cause. And I truly believe that when we give, he always takes care of us. Like he will always help make sure my family is okay. And that's like number one business model that's helped me so much. So yeah.
I absolutely love that. And here's the thing, just because I'm me and you're you, I don't want to focus on the negative, but I know from my lived experience how hard it is for people to believe, no matter how much I say it, no matter how much I show it, that I don't always feel excited and dancing, and I don't always believe in myself every single day. And even in my best periods of life. And the other thing, when watching the documentary, and it could be twice as long. It really could be, right? You can't get into everything. But one thing that I would love to touch on in whatever depth you feel comfortable with is, no matter, I believed that if I had sincere intentions, I had the spirit, I was being directed and guided, that everything would work out. And it did, and it has. But I didn't realize my definition of everything work out meant people wouldn't be mean to me. People don't believe I'm for real. People don't believe that I'm sincere. People are mean about my sincerity.
Yeah.
There was one book comment. Somebody left a comment on my audiobook that said, I can't stand how she always starts crying. It's so fake. And now when I watch your documentary, in both of the clips, I'm crying and I can't stop beating myself up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not fake. I just cry a lot. But so all of that to say, and like, why does that bug me so much? But it just hurts so much, right?
Yeah.
So I want to know what practices, what armor, what shields, what defenses, what obstacles you've overcome that you've made into opportunities.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to get in the nitty gritty, but I just want you to remind everyone that just because there's so many people showing up and it's amazing, it doesn't mean you haven't had to overcome the others.
You have to understand, I was talking about this with with Kelsey just barely actually, and it's you only see right? You only see Tia dancing, happy, the follower counts, but you don't see the behind the scenes. You don't see that person, I'm gonna get emotional. But I think everybody goes through, everybody does. It doesn't matter if you have a huge following, little following, no following, whatever, in whatever stage of life you're in, wherever your business, your family, but everybody is going through something. And I think it's always Andy always tells me this. He's Tia, not everybody's gonna love you, but who are you representing? And I think that is such an important thing. Like for me, my why is deeper. And if you believe in your why, and oh my gosh, I truly believe this because when I started Calamity 17 years ago, people thought I was crazy. They were like, I mean, we were losing our house. Andy was in and out of a job. We weren't getting paychecks. We just had a baby, like freshly married. Like I mean, everything was happening. And it was like the big boom, the 2008, everything, like financially, we were just not in a great place. And so even my own family was like, Tia, you need to keep some of that money for yourself. You got to keep some of that concert money. And me and Andy both were like, no, we don't do this for the money. This is strictly to give back. And we know that the Lord will provide for us. And I think we all have a why to why we do things, right? Why we wake up, why we push ourselves to start a business. That passion drives us and helps us to believe that it's not gonna, and I tell everyone that's getting into whatever they're doing, I'm like, it's not gonna happen overnight, but it takes that passion to hold to your why and don't stray from that why. Because even me, like today you look at my life, I'm doing all these things, right?
Yeah.
And my life is, I'm in Hollywood this time, and then I'm here, and then I have to honestly hold true to that same why that was in 2007. Like, why am I doing all these things? Why am I showing up? Why am I traveling to New York every other month to speak? Because my why is greater and I believe in my mission. And
if you were going to put that in a few sentences, that why, that mission is.
Yeah, my mission is to help people. That's my why, I just believe, I hold strong to the scripture of if you can bring one unto me, then that's enough. And it doesn't matter. And I love in the film, in the documentary, at the end, I'm not going to give everything, but his statement was so inclusive. And that was something that Kelsey had said when we were watching it together. I just love that your guys' message, like you both were talking, right? They were going in and out of our clips, but it was so inclusive to anybody, whatever higher power they believe in. It's hold true to your why.
And now it's time for an ad. And you know what? Listen. This is the number one people that I wanted to work with. BetterHelp.com. When I would hear them advertise on other podcasts, I'm like, why are they not on my podcast? And here's why I'm so passionate about it. Just because you've tried one therapist doesn't mean you've tried therapy. Therapy is so much like dating. You've got to find somebody that you can't BS. You've got to find somebody who speaks to your compassion, speaks to your empathy, and can see through the things you're not saying. And that's why I love BetterHelp.com, because if you're thinking of starting therapy, it's completely online and you fill out a brief questionnaire. So that brief questionnaire is going to have, just like a little dating profile. It's going to match you with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional costs. This is so important that we're able to see ourselves clearly. I am so grateful to BetterHelp.com for sponsoring this podcast. And do you guys get, the way it works is the only way I keep getting sponsors is if you use the code. And so truly it benefits us so much, and you get 10% off your first month. And so find comfort this December with BetterHelp. I would love that for you. Visit BetterHelp.com/awesomea today, and that's going to get you 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/awesomea.
And understand that the more you rise, the more you keep growing, that's more eyes on you. That's more people with opinions. It's kind of like to be expected. And you have to, and thank goodness I have a husband like Andy that has taught me to have thick skin, but he's not everybody's gonna love you. You're gonna rise and you're gonna get all these people.
Eric's in the corner laughing because Andy and Eric need to have a support group.
Oh yeah, I know. Seriously, and it's Tia. Like your mission is like you have a purpose and you have a strong why and a passion, and you cannot let strangers have control over you. And I mean, if I were to let strangers control my life, I would not be here today. This documentary would not have been happening. I would have probably not have made it through my journey. I probably would have quit Calamity actually before I even got to my cancer journey.
Yeah.
And you think about all those things, and then you think about like, man, if I were to quit because of the negativity, think of all the people around that you've affected in a positive way, Alison. Like all the people, including myself.
I'm crying because I feel
Alison.
like you're talking to me.
Including myself, Alison. You affected my life. You had a part in who I am today. I believe that because everybody affects us. We take from everybody and we implement those positive things in our lives. We're like, oh, you know what? I love how she smiles all the time. I'm going to do that. Oh, I love how she talks to everybody. You know what? I want to do more of that. Oh, I love how she gives to you know what? I can do that. And I truly believe that's how life is. That's how we become who we're meant to be, is that we just boom. But if we let that one little comment of a stranger or even a family member smash that why, all of those people that you were born to help and you were born to impact won't happen. You never know what life you can actually help save by just showing up. Okay, I'm done talking.
No, I loved it. I love it. And I love are these Christmas PJs?
Yeah, they're Christmas PJs.
So correct. It's just the correct feeling. Okay, so this question might also help. I'm going to give you 2 questions and then you decide which one you want to go off on. Okay? So the first question is an emotion that I find difficult to have is, and then, actually, let's just start with that one. Or do you feel like you can answer that?
Yeah, I can answer that. Yeah. An emotion I feel difficult to have is honestly, and I'm going to be real, is sometimes sadness for myself. I think sometimes we get, which I think it's okay sometimes to not be okay. Like, and that's something that I'm continuously learning. I'm not perfect. And I think it's okay to not be okay. And that's something that I struggle with sometimes because I'm a fighter. I'm a very just like optimistic, just come on, we got this mentality. And sometimes I need to learn to be more empathetic to that it's okay to not be okay. Like, and allow myself and other people around me to not be okay. So, yeah.
Well, so the reason I even asked that question is I recently did, and I would love to talk to you about some of like your daily practices in a minute, but one daily practice that I really believe in is journal writing and just free writing.
Yeah.
And I noticed a pattern that on days when I had nothing to write, nothing, there's nothing, I have nothing to say, nothing. I'm usually really sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it took that happening several times for me to realize, oh, that sadness does not feel okay to come up. That sadness does not know how to express itself. That sadness is being pushed down.
Yeah.
And so what are some ways that you have learned to hold sadness and allow sadness? And the other question I was going to ask, which I think ties into this, is I also know from having a life that is, let me focus on helping others and serving and giving, that it can at a certain point come at a detriment to your schedule, your health, your family. And maybe even your capacity to hold that sadness or those harder emotions, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what are some ways that you have learned to create those boundaries, whether they are even watching the documentary and I watch the documentary and I see it one way and then I see it a whole other way. And
Yeah.
the other side is to have that much social media footage of all of those things is so much work. She worked so much for so many years. People think it's fun to work online. It means you work 24 hours a day. And
Seriously.
so with kind of all of those mixed together, whatever part speaks to you, like learning how to have that sadness, learning
Yeah.
how to have boundaries. What are their boundaries, right?
Yeah.
Like just kind of navigating that side of it.
Yeah, I think I've had to learn, especially with social media showing up, is like with the whole like when I am sad, I don't know, but I feel like it's okay to show up sad. Like I said, I don't think we need to be perfect. I don't believe that we need to show a perfectly clean slate, beautiful, everything's roses and daisies and butterflies. I think it's even for me as a human, like when I see someone go through something hard, honestly, when I watch the documentary, I'm watching all these phases of myself, right? And Kelsey was making fun of me because I'm literally like, she is freaking a baddie. That girl right there. Oh my gosh. I'm talking to the screen like it's not me, right? Because obviously I'm different today. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. But I'm so glad. And I'm saying that because I'm like, dang, she was showing up like that. She was showing up like that. No, nothing to give in her hospital bed. Nothing to get, no energy, no nothing. But how relatable was it to me in now? Sorry, I'm emotional. But I look at it now, like I watch it now. And now I'm in remission and I'm in this healing phase of my journey and I'm going through growing motherhood. I'm going through business stuff. I'm going through a different phase of my marriage, right? It's not everything's just perfect. It's that now I'm dealing with a different hard. But when I look at that girl, I'm like, holy cow. Like, I just want a little bit of that strength. So I truly, like for me, showing up, and I know it's so hard for people. I know because I get people that say it all the time, but it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to let people see that it's not okay. Like it's okay to be like, you know what? This is hard, but we got this. I'm just gonna keep and having I think always too, Andy had this thing when I was in the hospital. He would call me and because I was by myself and he would be like, how's it going? And I'd feel really down and just, I don't know. I don't think I can do it. And he'd say, okay, just get through the next 5 minutes. He's like, do 5 minutes. He's just do 5 minutes. And then it would be, okay, just do the next 15 minutes. Okay. And then I grew to, he'd call back and it'd be an hour. All right, babe. Okay, just work through the hour. Just try to get through the hour. You can make it an hour. And now we have this thing in our life that's a constant now forever. We just focus on today. Tomorrow is not promised, right? And I think that helps a lot with those hard times is taking out the big, huge picture and just taking a little chunk. Just giving yourself a little chunk. Yeah, you're right. I don't really know what's going to happen 4 hours from now. I really don't. In reality, we don't know about tomorrow. So why am I so worried and focused and mad about what's going to happen tomorrow if I'm not just enjoying today? Like, and working through it step by step. And that's really helped a lot with me. And then you said about the social media, like taking that much footage. I said that same thing yesterday. I was like, holy crap, dang, but I knew, and I shared, this is something you don't see in the documentary, but they asked me, they're like, why did you film everything? What motivated you? And I said, because I knew one day I would look back at that moment like I am now. And I would say, dang, that girl, she's freaking rad.
Yeah.
Like we
She's
did
a baddie.
it.
She's a baddie.
She's a baddie. Like we did it. Like I'm here today because of that girl right there. Not this girl. That girl right there. The one fighting in her hospital bed, the one that was alone, the one that was on steroids, the one that was losing her hair, the one that was in that dark depression state. Like, I knew one day that I could look back at those moments, and it's almost like I didn't want to miss a moment of the journey. So the girl today could look back and be like, yeah.
So beautiful. And I think another thing too, watching the documentary and getting to see your house and even you in the hospital room and your studio and years of concerts and years of hard work and performing and practicing. One thing that stood out to me was you are such an artist. It's really cool. I think with dance sometimes, or singing, or some of those performing arts, it's easy to forget you are an artist. The way that you see the world, and the dance that you did on It's Dixie Rock, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That you did for the documentary. When I asked you that question, how do you process sadness? That an image of you with your face just full of that emotion in that dance, I was like, oh, I just answered my own question.
Yeah.
It was like came to my mind's eye where, and even your t-shirt designs, your sweatshirt designs, the art print behind you, you're such a talented artist. And I would love to hear a little bit about like how you grew your confidence in that.
Yeah.
Because what I've realized with myself and art for myself is like, I've always felt like an artist, but never could call myself an artist.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, you just decide I like the flowers that I made.
Yeah.
And then I like them. It's just a decision.
Yes. Yeah. Someone's got to make the decision. Someone's got to do it.
Someone makes the decision that this looks really good, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't realize how much I self-affirm verbally until I hear my kids doing it to themselves.
I love that.
Specifically my youngest.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, you got this, Fiona. Ooh, Fiona, that looks great. She like, just like I talk to myself. She talks
so good
to herself. Woo, beep, beep, boop. Oh, I am so excited about this sponsor and this ad. Listen, you know that adulting, like the task of taking care of like, I don't know, paperwork and all that crap is really difficult for me. I am stoked about this. I wish I had this a few years ago when I was trying to find doctors. It is an app. It's a free app called Zocdoc. And it's a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book the appointment. And you know when you're looking for a doctor, it's like freaking playing a game of Mad Libs. You're like, I need one that does this, but this, and takes this insurance or this payment. Oh my gosh. When I was going to specialist after specialist, I mean, it's exhausting. Anybody who's been navigating a long-term anything knows how taxing this can be. We are talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and much more. What? Oh my gosh. Okay, and plus Zocdoc appointments can happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. Oh my gosh, I wish I'd had this. I'm so happy to know I have it for the future. So listen, I know adulting is hard, and I know taking care of ourselves is always at the bottom of the list. This is going to make it so much easier. This is a genius idea. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments. Oh my gosh, I feel personally attacked. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to Zocdoc.com/Alison. That's Alison with one L to find instantly and book a top-rated doctor. That's ZODDOC.com/Alison. Zocdoc.com/Alison. Let's get back to the show. So I'm wondering, just a little bit about that, because I told you, your t-shirt designs, your sweatshirts, they're all so freaking good.
Oh,
And knowing to have you in that black shirt with everyone in the white shirts, you really are a visionary. So I'd love to hear about your creative confidence and how you've worked on that.
Yeah, I think ever since I was little, I've just always loved like art. I've always loved just like creating things. And I think I watched my mom do that a lot. I truly believe that what you watch, what you grow up watching, it just kind of subconsciously goes in without them teaching you, right? But then I
Yeah.
remember I was 19 years old and I was living in San Diego with my brother. And we were both dancing professionally at the time. And he was a gymnastic coach and I was the choreographer. I coached beam and floor and I choreographed the floor routines. But I honestly believe that when Adam, like my brother Adam, he's also in the documentary, but he gave me a lot of that confidence. Like he gave me a lot of belief in myself at that time in my life to he make like it was I feel like everybody needs somebody that's going to be like, you can do this. Like you are good at that. And sometimes you don't realize you're even doing it. Like for me, choreography at that time at 19 was just something that I was doing. I had been teaching since I was 12 and I'd been choreographing dances since I was 12. And but you never think of yourself, like you said, as an artist or a visionary or anything like that. But I remember when I was that was like a big time where my brother was like, no, you're really good at this. You are awesome. Like you can get paid to do this. Like you're really good. And I think that's when my confidence like started to grow because of Adam really instilled that positive mindset into my mind that I was good at it. And and then after that, it was just like that's when I started Calamity at 21. And ever since then, it's been I actually love being a student. Like I love learning. I love being in the studio, taking from instructors. I love being critiqued. I love being told how I can become better. Like I don't know, I call me weird, but I love that. But
Wait,
with
what's your
Calamity,
sign? When's your birthday?
I'm a Capricorn. I'm a
Oh,
Capricorn.
she's a Capricorn. No wonder you're such a little business
I
genius.
did.
I love this
So,
for you. You little sneaky organized mastermind.
whatever. No way. But yeah, I think then my mindset comes into somebody has to do it, and I tell my dancers that all the time.
Mm,
Like, it's not that I enjoy being in charge or being like a businesswoman. Like I'm in charge. I'm
yeah,
not like power hungry like that. I just know that it needs to be done. Like, and I'm a doer.
yeah,
So I know that
yeah.
this is such a big passion. I know that this dance mission can change lives. I've seen it. I know that it can make an impact. I know the positive effect it can have on the world. And somebody's got to just get it done and not care about the logistics.
That's so beautiful. And thank you. Do you ever watch TV?
I don't really.
I just was, I'm sorry that I was like, and that brings us to, I don't think she watches any TV. Yeah.
I don't.
And
I don't.
actually, how much time do you spend consuming other people's social media?
Ooh, probably combined maybe an hour a day, maybe 30 minutes a
Okay.
day.
Not much, right?
Not much. I don't have time.
Because yeah.
And
And
honestly, I'm such a creator. Like my brain is always just, oh, we should.
yeah.
Like I spend more time creating than I do consuming. Really, I don't know. Yeah,
Let that be a lesson to all of us.
yeah.
Listen.
I
And
create a lot.
and when I heard you talking about, choreographing when you're 12 and doing different things like that, a lot of it is you didn't have social media when you were
No.
12. You weren't watching TikTok choreographers when you were 12. You literally were like this cute little girl in Hawaii, like somebody's got to do something. I'm going to choreograph, right? And I find a lot of times when people ask me like, "Oh, how did this and how did that?" And I'm like, I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
I just like
You just do it. And I feel like that's how we were raised though. Like we were raised as with not social, like with a screen, like we were raised to just go out and create. And which is something that I implement in my kids. Like my kids, we don't do screens. Which is not, I'm not against anyone that does. But I love my kids are just constantly drawing. They're constantly coloring.
Yeah.
It's just crayons and paper. That's what they do. And my little kids are like creators. Like they're just they're artists. They're just drawing pictures all over the place. And that's how I was raised. Like you just make your own thing. You create your own fun. So I think that's
I
like what
love
you were
that.
saying. We just don't think about it. That's just how we were raised.
Yeah. Yeah. And And it's just, I think a lot of it too is when you step into that flow of creating, it's like this beautiful place where I don't want to leave it to go criticize, and I don't want to leave this flow to go get distracted. I just want to be in this flow where it's just, I can't stop like wiggling when I talk about it. Okay, so you've been so generous. I love everything we've talked about. Everybody's going to watch the documentary. I'll give all the info and spiel, and it's going to change your lives. But I just want to ask you, in closing, and your documentary does this, but what is like a couple of things that have been on your mind and heart lately? And maybe even let's just go like really specifically, like with the way the world is, maybe the time of year or anything. What's been on your mind that you think could help somebody to hear?
Yeah, I have something that's been on my mind, and I just the last couple weeks before this documentary came out. It's not out yet, but when it's being released, I have been affected by just a lot of negativity, a lot of just hard moments, trying to just, I mean, if I'm being honest, like hard moments with me and my marriage, for instance, and just a lot of arguments, a lot of just distress, a lot of just like it's crazy how though. And I love this perspective. If you can keep this perspective for anybody that's listening, when things get really tough and like you just worked on this, you're working on this new business that's going to be, I'm going to launch it in a couple weeks and everything just feels really hard right now. My marriage is hard and my kids don't listen and I'm torn and we're struggling. Just know that something great is going to happen. And the adversary is trying to keep you from shining that light and from doing that good. And if you can fight that, and if you can keep that perspective that, okay, this is just a really hard moment because I know and I believe in my why. I know why I'm here. I know why I did what I did. I know that I have this benefit concert coming up for Brielle in a couple weeks that's going to be huge for her. And she's, fighting cancer. I know that this documentary is coming out and the world's going to see it and it's going to help people because we showed our true story. And that was our intention, right? Like, he's trying to shut that down. So the way he starts is with you. He will get in your head. He will get in your heart. He will make you believe that, yeah, you're right. You do suck. Yeah, you're right. Your marriage is trapped. Yeah, you're right. You know what? Just cancel the documentary. Because you can't show up like that. You're fighting with your husband.
Yeah. And Alison, nobody wants to see you cry and be emotional anymore.
Nobody wants
too
to
many feelings.
Yes, exactly. I want to remind people out there because I feel like sometimes we let that overtake. There was a moment where I was like, I just got to call Eric and tell him, no, like, I can't. Everything's not great right now. You know what I mean? But we worked through it. We worked through it. We worked through it. I held true to the why. I knew that I just kept that perspective of I know where this negativity is coming from because he knows the impact that this is going to have on so many people. He knows the lives that are going to be changed and saved and feel hope and joy. He knows. And if I can shut Tia down, I can shut all these people down. If I can take Tia apart, I can take all these people apart. They won't see light anymore. And I just want people to remember that. Just keep that perspective. Like when something great is going to happen, it's going to be really hard. It's not going to be easy. It's going to look messy. It's going to look crazy. It's going to be dark. But just know that it's because there's going to be so much light.
Thank you. That's so beautiful. And I don't usually do this, but can I tell you what I hope for you?
Yes, please.
I just want to leave you with like what I would wish for you is that right now, while you are being so open and vulnerable and being a star and shining so bright so that people can see their way, I hope that in the pain and in the doubt, that there are true moments of being able to enjoy it, that there are moments of being able to see clearly just how glorious you sharing your story is, and not just because it helps other people, but because you, Tia, also are worthy of receiving that love and that light. And it's not just for everyone else, it's for you. And so I hope that you get to receive and feel just a little bit of the magic that you share with so many people. My wish for you is that you get to feel what it's like to be loved by Tia.
Thank you.
And however that can happen, and I'm your biggest fan. We are so excited. Do you know what I want to do? And I know you need to go.
Yeah.
I want to rent a movie theater up here. I want to have a Q&A. I want a whole thing. I have master plans going on.
Yes.
So just know I am working on it.
Okay, let's do it. I say we do it. That'd be awesome.
It would be so fun.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll work on that.
Okay.
You keep being phenomenal. I love you. I
love you. Thank you so
for
much,
your time
Alison.
today.
I love you guys so
And
much.
we'll talk soon.
Okay, love you.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? Isn't she just the best? I am so grateful. There were just a couple of things in the documentary that I said to Eric, I want more of this, I want more of that. And then they actually put them in. And then I wanted a couple more things. And Tia and I were able to touch on that during this interview. I want to thank Tia again. I want to thank her family. I want to thank the years and years of hard work that she has put in to be able to share the way that she has and does. And I want to thank you guys for being here and participating in this beautiful community that really is so uplifting. And I'm just so there's nothing I'd rather do. I tried everything else for a while, guys. I tried to leave it. I tried to quit. I tried to do other things. This is truly for me. I love sharing stories like this. I love talking to you on the podcast. I love hearing from you. I love hearing how the stories, the interviews, the ideas from the podcast touch you. It means so much. Episode 200. I'm so excited for what's coming up for the podcast. I've said that before, but I'm still going to say it. So much is in store for 2025. I can't wait to share it with you. Get excited. Get ready. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Eric. And we're just going to go straight into some music from my man. Why don't you play something that is in the documentary? Because so much of your music is in the documentary. It's absolutely beautiful.
You got it. Here it is.
Oh, yeah. I almost didn't say it.
Oh, yeah,
Only you can be you, and you are already as awesome as you need to be. Okay, you guys know I have a hard time drinking water. It's because it's boring and I have my tumbler all day filled with diet soda. But I have challenged myself to start hydrating more. So my new thing is liquid IV. And I start around 4 or 5 o'clock, forcing myself to try to drink some water, which was so hard to do. So with these yummy flavors that liquid IV has, it's actually scientifically proven to hydrate better than just water. So I do forget to drink water sometimes throughout the day. This has been so great because I challenge myself. I got to finish at least 1, maybe 2 of these throughout the day to make sure that I'm really getting hydrated. And the most exciting thing is that I get to offer you a deal for this thing that has been helping me. I love the pina colada and I love the sugar-free white peach. It truly, I have less headaches. I feel less lethargic. Who knew we all need so much water? So stay hydrated with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV. And when you go to liquidiv.com, use my code AWESOME so you can save 20%. That's liquidiv.com, code AWESOME.